Hi there and welcome along to StaffTreats. My name is Kathryn Wilson, and before we get started today, I'd like to thank our sponsors here at Colindale. This is Area Works for this wonderful space for us to have our conversation in. And of course, we're joined now by today's guest, Dan Saunders. Dan is a marketeer and a consultant, and we're very excited to welcome him here today. So welcome along, Dan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
First question I want to ask you, Dan, where do you come from and what do you do?
So I'm currently based in Harrogate. We are part of the IDHL group, so I work for Ingenuity Digital specifically. So offices in Harrogate, Leeds, Manchester, London as well. So my job there is the performance marketing manager. So I deal basically in working with clients to find the best results to get them, either whether it's online or whether it's through direct mail campaigns, etc., and then work a strategy together to help them really push that through.
That's brilliant. And recently we've heard that you've moved jobs. So what were you doing initially, and what is the difference between your job now?
So my main focus in my previous job was just SEO. The good thing about Ingenuity Digital, it's given me the opportunity to work on the design and dev phase as well as the SEO, PPC, but also stretch my knowledge into e-commerce. I've just recently opened up my own e-commerce consultancy as well, so they feed into the two in there as well.
So I can already tell you're an extremely busy man. So how do you get that, the work-life balance of, you were able to start a new business a year ago while moving into a new job role? How do you manage that work-life balance?
It really wasn't easy at first. When I first started it, I did all the wrong things. I kind of committed to things that weren't going to make money in the long run, but I thought in the short term they were. I just pushed my time out there completely. I had no me time, and I really, really struggled with it as well. One of the best things that I did was actually block booking out my time. So I'll say between 9 and 11, I'll do the calling out, dealing with clients, looking at strategies. Between 11 and 12, get ready, just have a bit of chill out time, just a little bit away, because the thing with digital marketing is you are 99% of the time in front of a screen. Just pulling myself away from the screen, going for a walk, going for a tea, coffee, just something you can pull yourself away, but also a little bit of activity as well. Trying to take as much time for the weekends as I have for my other half, my puppy. But then also you do realize it is difficult when you've got the consultancy side as well, to try and not let that bleed in as well to what you want to do as well. So block booking is one of the biggest, best strategies that I've done so far.
Very good. So you have a wife and a dog, and of course they make you very active, I can imagine, in your life. So I'm sure it's very easy to stay committed to them as well as your work. But how, I've just heard actually news that you're welcoming a baby soon.
Yes.
So do you have any plans in order to develop your work-life balance a bit more? Because I think you're probably going to need a bit more time at home. Sure. So how will you be further developing your work-life balance?
Well, Ingenuity Digital have been really helpful already. So we've got a couple of appointments next week. So even though I'm only 3 weeks in, they've said I can work from home, and they've given me some holiday time as well for it, even though 3 weeks in. So they've been really helpful with that. So making sure you're working with the right people that have the right mentality has been such a massive boost for that. In terms of getting ready for having a baby in February, having a puppy, and a very heavily pregnant wife at the moment. It's really not been easy. I've now got an hour and a half commute into work, and then an hour and a half commute back as well. So basically, as soon as I get back home, work is shut off completely. I don't have my laptop on, I don't have my work emails looked at or anything like that, and it's actually spending time with each other rather than just sitting in front of the TV. I mean, sometimes TV is good, you can just sort of be out there in the world and not really think of anything, but just spending time with each other, going for a run with the dog, going for a walk as a family. Making sure I block out time. My mum was a single mum. She had to raise 3 kids on her own, and she always made it. When she was home, whatever was happening at work, whether she had a really stressful time, she's at home, always took us everywhere. We never ever sat down. I think that's probably why I'm like I am now, and always on the move. Every weekend we'd be either going to the beach, we'd go for a run, we'd do something active. That got me into rugby, that got me into kickboxing, it got me into basketball as well. It's making sure we're having those that energetic output, the way you can bond with time as a family. So that's one of my bigger plans as well for when we've got a child. Obviously, when they're a little bit older, maybe looking into the sports side of things, but making sure we're spending time just as together.
So how does it work with your consultancy firm then? Do you accept calls at night? How do you fit that in with your full-time job?
So one of the big things is setting clients' expectations right at the start, letting them know that I'm doing this as well. A lot of people that I deal with know that my full-time job is performance marketing, but they know how important my family are to me. So I will say, right, okay, going back to the block booking of times, I will be available for X, Y, and Z time. I won't be available before, I won't be available after, whether it's work or the work commitments or my time for my other half. But then also trying to balance that. So say, for example, someone has got an urgent campaign that needs to go live, needs to be sorted, then that takes priority. I can then say, right, okay, if I do it this time, I then need to take away that time to make sure that it's balanced, to make sure you're giving the best for your customer, but also in the same time making sure you've got that detachment from the digital world.
So can I just ask you, what would you advise companies nowadays should be doing to help their employees who struggle with that work-life balance? What could they be doing in order to enforce a better work-life balance for their staff?
So one of the big things that, in fact, at Ingenuity Digital is that everyone in our London office has got a free gym membership. It's all part of the contract. That's from day one as well. There needs to be cycling to work schemes as well, and also rewards for going out and being active. So my wife works for the Environment Agency, so they get a pass to go to all National Trust parks. So we like to go to the Yorkshire Wildlife Park, so we get a chance to go out discounted there, or we can book in to get in free in certain places as well. It's just something that rewards your employees for being out and being active. Because it is so easy to get caught up. I recently downloaded the Mario Kart app on my phone, and that literally nearly took into quite a lot of my time, because you had nostalgia, you had the screen vibe, all the screen vibes. It was just a case of no, detach. Let's go out. Let's take in a little bit of sunshine, well, as much sunshine as we can get in the UK, and just enjoy being with each other.
So we've had a question in, and it's from a guy who is struggling to ask his current manager for more time off or more money. So how would you deal with a situation like that?
So personally, when I've been in that situation, I've just been upfront and honest with my boss. It depends on what sort of mentality they are. So if you've got someone that's very numbers focused, or someone that's very personable, or again, it all depends on the relationship. But I had a guy who was very, very numbers orientated. So I basically put forward, look, if I could do X, that would equal X, Y, and Z for you guys. Could I then do this, this, and this? So I put it as a proposal to them. It's not always going to work like that. Ideally, in an ideal world, it would. But the best way to do it is just be upfront, honest. Think about what you're going to say before you say it, and why do you want to do it. Now, have you really earned it? Which is, 90% of the time, I'd say most people have, because we undervalue ourselves as people so much, and we just sort of take what we can get. But if you know that you've earned it, you can put a positive case together, and what your worth, then just put the case forward and just be honest and upfront with your boss. If they say no and they give you a legitimate reason, then okay, what are the next steps? What's the next actions we can take to get me from where I want to be to where I am now? How do I get there? But if they don't, they just say no flat out, and they don't answer you why, then maybe that's not the right place for you to be in. I know it's a harsh answer, but it's got to be the case. You've got to think about yourself. Because it's very, very easy in this day and age to just forget and think you're just a wheel in a cog. You're not. Everyone plays a really important role in what they do.
Thank you so much, Dan Saunders, and thank you so much for watching Staff Treats today. I've been Kathryn Wilson, and make sure you like and subscribe to watch our next videos.